It's Thursday, January 5th, and welcome to The Rundown, a daily video recap where we'll bring you here into the Post newsroom and break down the top headlines each day. Yesterday was another hectic day here at the Post. Around 3 p.m. we broke the news that Dr. Kent Smith, OU's Vice President for Student Affairs and unquestionably one of the university's most popular administrators, is a finalist for the president's position at Langston University, an historically black college in Oklahoma. Smith, who's been at OU since 2006, will be interviewed on the Langston campus later on this month, and he'll know by the end of the month whether or not he will be that college's next president. Today's front page also features new installments in 2 front page series we've been running this week. We revisit our fracking series, and we publish the final installment of our Little Cities of Black Diamonds series. Today's front page also highlights last night's meeting of college Republicans, which featured a visit from Ohio Congressman Steve Stivers, who's running for re-election in the redrawn 15th District. Stivers, who was elected in 2010, is facing 2 GOP challengers in this spring's primary. And in the final segment of the rundown today, I'm here with Post reporter Brandon Karp, who's going to tell us a little bit more about a very personal story he shares with us in today's issue of the Post. So Brandon, tell me a little bit more about the column you wrote today.
I'm actually from Clyde, Ohio, Wes, and where I'm from, we live in a cancer cluster, and a few kids have been diagnosed with cancer, and back in October I found a lump in my groin. So in the column I just share my experiences and just dealing with it. Luckily for me, they were actually enlarged lymph nodes and they were benign, so I actually don't have cancer. But
definitely. So how did you, that must have been a really nerve-wracking experience to have to go through something like that. Luckily I've never had to deal with something like that, but there are obviously thousands of students and other people who have to go through that kind of thing. What was going through your head when you first realized that, and then when you first realized that it could potentially be cancer?
I honestly was terrified, but luckily for me, I kept busy at Ohio University. I write for the Post, so I try to keep my mind off things and just write as much as I can, volunteer, do stuff around campus, try to focus on my studies a lot. So that kept my mind off things. So I think it essentially was good to be here in Athens, away from my family, so by keeping busy, I didn't have to worry about it so much.
Definitely. Now, one thing that I thought was kind of interesting was that I noticed that you kind of live tweeted a little bit as you were going into your surgery to get some of the lumps removed. How did you come to that kind of coping mechanism or distraction mechanism, and why did you decide to do that?
I love Twitter a lot, and I thought if I'd kind of like make a joke out of it, sort of, and just kind of tweet using 140 characters, it would keep my mind off things and just keep me doing something so I wouldn't be worried about the anesthetic or the IV. I hate needles so much, so I just kind of kept in touch with my followers and just was live tweeting the entire thing.
Definitely. Well, to hear more about Brandon's ordeal earlier this fall, make sure you check out the Post today. He's got a column on page 2. And Brandon, I appreciate you joining us today. Obviously, it was a tough time for you, but I'm glad to hear that you're healthy and that you're obviously back here writing for the Post. He's also got a ton of stories online today, so make sure you check those out. That concludes our rundown for today. Make sure you check out this and tons of other video, photo, story content at www.thepost.ohiou.edu. And as always, stick with the Post, your independent voice at Ohio University and in Athens. Thank you, and happy, what day is it? Thursday. Happy Thursday.